Hi, I'm Kathy Bartlett, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about dress codes in public school. Oftentimes, when I see the students in my high school, I wonder, should they be wearing uniforms? Or is it really okay that they're able to wear pretty much whatever they want? I found this video that I thought is a great example of what I run into with discussions with my students on a regular basis at school. Maybe it'll be familiar to you too.
Kimberly, do you have any idea as to why I kept you after class?
Miss Beasley, I do not know. You are always picking on me. I am really getting annoyed.
Kimberly, your shirt is not covering your abdomen area. School rules state that our shirts must cover this area and overlap with the waist of our pants. I have a few extra school spirit shirts if you would like to borrow one. Otherwise, you will have to go to the office with a write-up slip.
This is absolutely so stupid. You are just jealous that you cannot wear the same clothes that I do. What happened to my rights? My mom buys me these clothes.
Kimberly, please calm down. I am not out to get you. When you walked into homeroom, it is my job to monitor student dress code. Do you not remember at the beginning of the year when we spent all of that time reviewing our student handbook?
I do remember, but it is now March and this shirt was not so short at the beginning of the year. Miss Beasley, my mom cannot afford to go and buy me new clothes. Besides, I like these clothes. Is it not my First Amendment right to dress as I want?
Kimberly, first of all, yes, you do have First Amendment rights as a minor at home, when you are in public, and anytime you are not attending classes during school hours. You are also entitled to a free education in an institution that has rules so that we behave in a specific way. You know, there was a court case, Blau versus Fort Thomas Public School District from 2005. This case involved a student who claimed that their freedom of speech rights were violated because the middle school they attended adopted a dress code that restricted tight clothing, baggy pants, tops and bottoms that do not overlap, piercings, colored hair that is distracting to others, hats, caps, chains, and other clothing that seemed to be distracting to the educational process or dangerous to the student.
Wow, that seems somewhat strict. Mr. Porter does not require the hair color, the tight-fitting clothes, or the piercings. Does that mean that we could have these rules also?
Certainly. Mr. Porter realizes that our students need to have some freedom with the dress code. This court held that the dress code did not violate the students' freedom of speech. So how about it? Will you put on the shirt that I have, or would you rather talk to the principal?
Miss Beasley, I am sorry. I did not mean to accuse you of picking on me. You were doing your job. I will take you up on your offer. Thank you for giving me a chance to make it right.
Kimberly, there is no need for an apology. I am very glad we were able to resolve this matter. Many students become belligerent when they are reminded about the school rules. Let us go and get that shirt so you can go on to your class.
I thought this was a great little video, and it brought up several points when we're talking about dress code. First of all, it's not unreasonable for us to have a dress code in school. The students think it is, but it's really not. This cartoon kind of illustrates that. We've got two young men here with baggy pants, and one says, "I was going to be a stockbroker, but they make you wear a belt." And it just made me think that, we are preparing our students for the workforce, and if they're going to be successful, they need to learn that there's a time and a place to wear certain kinds of clothing if they're going to be successful for different jobs, if they're going to be on a sports team, even going to a restaurant and other public places as well. We always need to keep in mind that we need to be reasonable with the dress code. And in fact, if we're going to have a dress code, it has to demonstrate that there's a connection to disruption in the school before a certain attire is banned. And this is because students do have First Amendment rights. That amendment right does not go away when they walk through the school doors. They still have that. In fact, in 1969, there was a court case called Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District that challenged students who wanted to wear armbands in protest of the Vietnam War. And the court ruled in favor of the students and said because that symbol did not interfere with the school learning process. They were allowed to wear whatever they wanted and express themselves. So the First Amendment right is very important. So then the question is, what criteria should be considered when establishing a dress code? Because they have a violation, or they have their First Amendment rights that the students can have, but we can't just let them wear anything. And so how do we balance that? And it's a difficult one. Here's another cartoon where this student says, I am dressed for success. Of course, my idea of success may not be exactly the same as yours. I run into this a lot where students are wearing something really odd and they think it's okay. And that's part of our job, is to teach them how to dress for success. One criteria that we can use if we're thinking about dress code is that we need to think about the health of the students in the school. They need to be clean. They cannot be carrying parasites or disease on them. So we need to think about those when we're thinking about hair length or what they put on their skin, body piercings, open wounds, things like that. We need to be thinking about the safety of the student individually and the school as a whole. Things like shoes are important. First of all, they should wear shoes to protect their feet. Then those shoes also need to be safe, and they need to be able to walk up and down stairs safely. They need to stay tied. We need to think about jewelry, especially in situations where classrooms might have machinery and so forth, where the jewelry can get caught. We also need to think about the community in which we're in and those particular standards. And usually it seems like most communities would not want students to call too much attention to their body. So dress needs to be appropriate in that way as well. Of course, we need to think about our school's mission and the statement and the other issues that we're trying to teach the students. So any clothing that would promote something that goes against that, violence, bullying, anything that's promoting hatred or is vulgar, would not be tolerated. One person should not be in charge of creating the dress code. This is an issue that involves lots of people. So yes, administration could head it up, but students should also be on that committee, parents should be involved, and other community members as well. So in summary, when we're thinking about dress codes, we need to remember that students do have the right to express themselves individually, but they have to do so in a way that does not infringe on the rights of others, in a way that's unsafe, or that disrupts the school's atmosphere of learning. Dress code must at all times be reasonable and meet the community's expectations. Thank you.